They don't ring bells when history changes. It happens quietly, in audit rooms, on sworn documents, when numbers stop making sense. Today's headline isn't noise, it's a signal. When vaults are exposed as nearly empty, the real question isn't what happened. It's who was prepared. Take a breath. Moments like this don't reward panic, they reward calm thinkers. The patient ones. The people who move before the crowd wakes up. This is where real opportunity lives. Years ago, I met someone who never chased trends. While others chased hype and quick wins, he quietly bought silver month after month. No drama, no headlines. People laughed. Then inflation hit, trust collapsed, and suddenly the thing they mocked became the thing they needed. He didn't get rich overnight. He got free over time. That's how real wealth is built. True wealth grows when paper promises weaken and real assets regain respect. Silver isn't just metal, it's discipline you can hold. It doesn't scream for attention, it rewards patience and understanding. Every major wealth transfer follows the same pattern. First, trust erodes, then truth leaks out, then panic spreads, and finally value reprices, fast and brutally. Right now, we're standing between truth and panic. The winners aren't loud. They're early, not reckless, strategic, not emotional, intentional. I've seen business owners survive crashes because silver gave them stability. While others scrambled, they expanded. Because in chaos, liquidity belongs to those who prepared when it felt boring. Here's the mindset shift that changes everything. Stop asking how much you can make. Start asking what you can protect. Silver is protection that grows stronger with time. Every ounce is a vote against fragility. You don't need perfect timing. You need consistency. Buy with intention, not fear. Hold with patience, not greed. Silver rewards long-term thinkers. Owning real assets changes how you live. You stop panicking at headlines. You stop chasing approval. You start thinking in decades, not days. That confidence spills into business, health, and leadership. Ask yourself, if systems shake, promises fail, and shortages become real, where do you want your value stored? Freedom isn't numbers on a screen. It's choice, calm, optionality. You don't need millions to start. You need clarity, discipline, and the courage to move while others hesitate. History doesn't reward panic. It rewards positioning. If this grounded you, if it replaced fear with clarity, if it helped you see silver as strategy, not hype, then support this message. Like it. Share it. Subscribe. They don't ring bells when history changes. There are no sirens, no dramatic countdowns, no flashing warnings on the screen. It happens quietly in places most people never look. Inside audit rooms, inside balance sheets, inside sworn testimony where numbers are supposed to tell the truth. And when those numbers stop making sense, when they quietly contradict years of confidence and comfort, that's when real change begins. Not with chaos first, but with silence. Today's kind of headline isn't designed for entertainment. It's not created to trend. It's a signal for those who know how to listen. When trusted vaults are revealed to be nearly empty, when official confirmations clash with long-standing beliefs, the most important question isn't how this happened. The real question is who understood the risk before it became obvious, who positioned themselves while everything still looked normal on the surface. This is the moment where calm matters more than speed, because panic always arrives late. By the time fear hits the crowd, the opportunity has already shifted hands. The people who benefit from moments like this aren't the loud ones reacting in real time. They're the quiet ones who prepared in advance, who built positions slowly while everyone else was distracted by noise, comfort, and convenience. There's a pattern to these moments, and it repeats throughout history. First, confidence grows too large. Systems become complex, layered, and abstract. People stop asking where value actually lives because numbers on screens feel real enough. Then, slowly, pressure builds beneath the surface. Promises stack on top of promises. Claims multiply faster than reality can support them. And eventually, someone looks closely enough to notice the gap. That gap is where opportunity hides. Silver has always existed in that space between trust and reality. It doesn't depend on belief. It doesn't require permission. It doesn't vanish when sentiment changes. It simply exists, waiting for the moment when people remember the difference between ownership and assumption. In times of stability, that difference feels irrelevant. In times of stress, it becomes everything. What makes this moment different isn't just the numbers being questioned. It's the timing. Inflation, debt, geopolitical tension, fragile supply chains, all converging at once. When pressure comes from every direction, weak structures don't bend, they crack. And when they do, value doesn't disappear, it moves. It flows away from complexity and back toward simplicity, away from promises and toward proof. This is why seasoned investors don't wait for headlines to confirm what cycles already suggest. They understand that by the time something is openly acknowledged, it's already priced emotionally, if not yet financially. They focus on preparation, not prediction. Accumulation, not reaction. They respect the difference between temporary calm and permanent stability. Think about how many people only start paying attention once fear becomes visible. By then, decisions are rushed, emotions take over, and mistakes compound. Contrast that with those who treated preparation as a habit rather than a response, who built positions quietly, consistently, without needing validation, who understood that real leverage comes from patience, not urgency. This is the advantage of thinking long-term in a short-term world, of valuing what endures over what excites, of choosing assets that don't rely on narratives to maintain worth. Silver doesn't need confidence to exist. It becomes most valuable precisely when confidence fades. And in moments like this, when official stories begin to unravel, when long-standing assurances start to feel fragile, the distance between those who prepared and those who didn't grows wider by the day. Because preparation isn't something you can rush into once reality forces the conversation. It's something built quietly over time, long before anyone else feels the need to ask uncomfortable questions, long before the crowd realizes that stability was never guaranteed, long before value begins to reprice itself in ways that only reward those who understood where real solidity lived all along. True wealth is rarely built in moments of excitement. It forms quietly, almost invisibly, when no one is watching and no one is cheering. Most people are taught to chase returns, to look for speed, leverage, and quick validation. But lasting wealth follows a different logic. It grows when confidence in paper promises starts to weaken, and attention slowly returns to things that exist beyond belief. That shift doesn't happen overnight. It happens gradually, as trust erodes, and people begin to feel that something solid is missing. Silver sits at the center of that realization, not as a trend, not as a shortcut, but as a reminder of what value actually is. It doesn't depend on earnings calls or central bank language. It doesn't need optimism to function. It holds its place through cycles because it isn't designed for comfort, it's designed for continuity. In stable times, that feels boring. In unstable times, it becomes obvious. History shows that whenever systems become too abstract, people forget the difference between owning something and being promised something. Claims multiply, layers build, and complexity creates the illusion of safety. But complexity is fragile under pressure. When stress enters the system, simplicity survives. Real assets don't argue. They don't renegotiate. They don't default. They simply remain. Those who understand this don't wait for reassurance. They act when conviction is still lonely. They accumulate when it feels unnecessary. They protect value before they try to multiply it. Because protection is the foundation of growth, not the opposite. You can't build freely on unstable ground. Silver encourages a different way of thinking. It teaches patience in a culture addicted to speed. It rewards consistency over cleverness. It shifts focus away from daily price movement and toward long-term positioning. That mindset changes how decisions are made, how risk is measured, how confidence is built. Because once you anchor part of your wealth in something real, you stop needing constant confirmation that you're safe, and you stop relying on systems that require everything to go right in order for you to stay whole. The people who succeed during times of upheaval aren't the loudest or the fastest. They are the ones who think ahead. They understand that moments of panic aren't opportunities. They are signals. They see the cracks forming in systems that most take for granted and recognize that real value doesn't depend on headlines, hype, or belief. Silver represents that understanding. It is both a tool and a teacher, showing that stability and patience are more powerful than speed and speculation. Many investors wait until fear is visible before they act. By that time, most of the advantages have already shifted to those who prepared early. Those who think long-term accumulate quietly, consistently, and with discipline. They know that true wealth is not built on the promise of a number on a screen, but on ownership of something tangible, something enduring. Owning silver cultivates a mindset that extends beyond finance. It trains patience, reinforces discipline, and encourages deliberate decision-making. It reduces reliance on unstable systems and encourages proactive preparation. The lessons learned from careful accumulation carry into business, leadership, and life. It is in this calm, intentional approach that ordinary people create extraordinary resilience, turning potential vulnerability into an unshakable advantage.